Is India raising confident kids or entitled ones? Because one viral KBC kid just turned India's favorite quiz show into a parenting mirror.
मेरे को रूल्स पता है, इसीलिए आप अभी मेरे को रूल्स समझाने मत बैठना।
अच्छा।
अरे ऑप्शन डालो।
हाँ डालते हैं भैया।
सर बी अयोध्या खंड को अच्छी तरीके से लॉक किया जाए।
लॉक कर दें?
लॉक कर दो। सर एक क्या उसमें 4 लॉक लगा दो, लेकिन लॉक करो।
When a young contestant on Kaun Banega Crorepati told Amitabh Bachchan, "I know the rules. You don't have to tell me." The internet exploded. Some called him bold, others called him rude. But what if this wasn't about one child's manner, but about how India's new parenting style is shaping an entire generation? Hello viewers, I'm Kavya Khandelwal and you're watching The Edge. Today we are talking about something called the 6-pocket syndrome, a concept from China that's now showing up in Indian homes, schools and yes, even game shows. So let's rewind to the viral movement. Picture this, Amitabh Bachchan, the ultimate symbol of respect and grace, begins explaining the KBC rules like he does with every contestant. But before he can even finish, this young boy cuts in, confidently saying, "I know the rules." The clip spreads like wildfire. Twitter debates, reels, think pieces. Some praise that boy's confidence, saying, "That's what modern kids should be like, fearless." Others said, "What happened to basic respect?" But beneath all the noise, psychologists noticed something deeper. They said this attitude wasn't about one boy. It's part of a pattern, a growing one, something that experts call 6-pocket syndrome. Here's what that means. The term 6-pocket syndrome was born in China during the one-child policy. Imagine one child surrounded by 6 adults. That is 2 parents, 4 grandparents. 6 pockets of love, care, and constant giving. Sounds perfect, right? Except it created what psychologists later called little emperors. Children who were loved deeply but also indulged endlessly. Kids who are used to hearing yes far more than no. Over time, they became brilliant but brittle, smart but unable to share, handle rejection or take feedback. Now fast forward to India. We never had a one-child policy, but we do have smaller families, more money and higher aspirations. And suddenly, you have the Indian version of the same story. Think about it. 2 working parents, both guilt-ridden for not having enough time. 4 grandparents showering endless love and food on their only grandchild. Domestic help taking care of chores, gadgets keeping them entertained, and schools rewarding every tiny achievement. That's 6 pockets, each pouring comfort, praise, and protection into one child. We say things like, "Don't cry, beta, I'll fix it." "You don't need to go outside, we'll buy you that online." "Why should you struggle? You are too young to deal with that." And before we know it, children grow up in a world that always bends to them. Now, let's be clear, these aren't spoiled kids. They are simply over-supported. They grow up believing that confidence means control, that success means applause, that failure means someone else's fault. And that's how a confident child can quickly turn into a demanding one. Back to the KBC kid, his line, "I know the rules," wasn't meant to offend. He probably didn't even realize it sounded arrogant. But it reveals something bigger, a generation that's incredibly smart, outspoken, and self-assured, but sometimes missing emotional calibration. Teachers today often say the same thing. Students can debate, perform, even lead, but struggle when told no. Group work becomes tricky, feedback feels like criticism, and authority often seen as outdated. Not because they are bad kids, but because we have built a culture where empowerment has blurred into entitlement. Now let's talk about the education parenting paradox. And here's the paradox. Parents want their children to be confident, not shy. They want them to speak up, not shrink back. But somewhere we forgot that confidence without humility is just noise. The goal isn't to raise kids who always know the answer. It's to raise kids who can listen, learn, and adapt. Experts say Instead of asking, how can I make my child successful, we should be asking, how can I make my child resilient? Because true confidence isn't about saying, I know. It's about saying, I'm willing to learn. And this doesn't mean being harsh. It means setting boundaries with love, praising efforts, not just results, letting them face discomfort, not rushing to rescue them. As parenting coach Shaheen D. Lima says, children who hear no early in life often hear more yes from the world later. Here's the real twist. Indulgence doesn't just affect manners, it rewires the brain. Studies in development psychology show that children who rarely experience frustration are more anxious as adults. Why? Because they never learned how to fail, and when life finally says no, they crumble. They have been told they are special their whole lives until the real world reminds them everyone else is special too. But here's the good news. The six pocket syndrome isn't irreversible. It just needs balance. Love plus limits. Confidence plus compassion. Encouragement plus accountability. Because success without humility is fragile, and confidence without empathy is empty. The KBC kid didn't just interrupt Amitabh Bachchan. He interrupted us, our habits, our culture, our parenting mirror. His movement on TV was a reminder that our children don't need more applause. They need more grounding, because the world wouldn't hand out hugs for arrogance. We don't need to raise kids who can answer every quiz question. We need to raise kids who can listen with respect, fail with grace, and rise with humility. After all, confidence might open doors, but character decides how long they stay open. Do you think today's kids are more confident or more entitled? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow The Edge.